Here's a question. Do you think Bruiser Brody could have had a successful run in the WWE back in the 80s? I could imagine runs with Hogan, Savage, and Warrior. We've talked about this a lot, man. I mean, he would have been a fantastic opponent for Hogan, but do you think it could have worked?
Yeah, I don't think it would have worked. I think it would have been great. I would love for it to have worked, but I don't think that Frank would have been able to deal in that kind of structure. Frank liked to be able to go out, do his own thing, have the ability to leave at any time, and exercise that ability whenever he just got a hair. So I don't see it working.
Paul Weston says, "Hello, Mr. Prichard. I always thought WWE should have made an effort to sign Ivan and Nikita Koloff during the mid to late 80s. The Russian Nightmare versus Hulk Hogan, in my opinion, would have made a far better main event for WrestleMania 2 than the one we got with Bundy. The commentary could play up how Uncle Ivan ended the 7-year reign of Bruno, and now Mother Russia has sent Ivan and his nephew to end Hulkamania. Thank you." Man, it does feel like Nikita could be a ready-made heel that Vince would have loved, and it would have been great for our All-American Hulk Hogan. Was it ever seriously discussed or considered Nikita Koloff in the WWF?
I think they had a meeting with Nikita. I don't really know. That was before my time, but I want to say that yes, they had met with Nikita, and there was, for whatever reason, that never worked out. But I think Nikita was a hell of a heel, hell of a heel. I thought that um, the babyface turn with Magnum and all that with Dusty was great for the moment. I mean, oh my God, just waterfall of tears, and really, really great for the moment. But after that, I think he was deader than Kelsey's nuts. But he's just a great, great, believable, nasty heel, and probably should have stayed that way.
This is a fun
In the
hypothetical.
moment, it was great.
Fun hypothetical here from Chico 1680. In a hypothetical scenario where Bruce didn't go on hiatus in 1991, Warrior didn't hold up Vince at SummerSlam, and Hogan versus Flair was a massive draw on the house shows, how would you book Hulk, Flair, Savage, Sid, Warrior, Jake Roberts, and The Undertaker for WrestleMania 8? Of course, he's insinuating if we did actually go forward with Hogan Flair because it had done well on the houses. What if Warrior had hung around? Do you think that would have changed creative? What would have happened at 8 that didn't happen?
Yeah, a lot of hypotheticals that you wish would have happened, but fact of the matter is, in major markets and in major where Flair was allegedly strong, didn't draw it. So to test market something, to test something and put it out there, in the past, and we've done it a lot of times. Let's test and see if there's any interest in this, and put it out there, and it's blown up, and go, okay, shit, we got something there. Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold Steve Austin was like, oh shit, there's something there. Flair and Hogan didn't. Nobody cared. They didn't care. The WWF audience looked at Rick as a second-rate champion. That's how they viewed him, because their guy, their world revolved around WWF and whoever the champion was there. So it wasn't that Rick was a second-rate champion. It was the audience viewed him as such because they weren't as familiar with him. So to the Ric Flair fans in the NWA, they were like, oh my God, this is great. But that audience wasn't as big, and that audience wasn't WWF fans. So there was it didn't work. So you give a hypothetical, okay, had they done that, then WrestleMania fell flatter than it fell, because WrestleMania 8 was not a success. It was flatter than a plate full of piss. And I dare say Hogan with the title going into WrestleMania 8 against Sid probably would have been the bigger marquee match by far.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
The Smoking Hot Dad says, what was Paul Bosch's thoughts on Black Saturday? Did he see it as a major change, or did he feel it really wouldn't affect his business in the Houston market? This comes up because it was an episode or a topic for Dark Side of the Ring. What did Paul think of Black Saturday, and what did you think of Black Saturday?
I think everybody kind of looked at it as Vince's first, big move, even though Vince's first big move was really USA and All American Wrestling and what he was doing. The PBS, the 605 Saturday night show for wrestling fans was holy shit, because now I'm what happened to the other stars. It was also during a time, frankly, where everything was in turmoil, and everywhere you look, man, whether it be MTV, USA, WWF was everywhere. Now they're on TBS. Now there is no alternative. Where am I going to see, the Georgia stars? So yes, it was crazy, man. But I think that was the general feeling with everybody. I know Bill Watts was, how dare him? And we'll go on there and kick his ass. When Bill, this is how Bill fought Vince. Vince would come into Tulsa, Oak City, New Orleans. Bill fought him by putting on free shows. Hey, folks, don't go there. Come here, see your favorites that you see every week for free. So that hurt Vince's business, but it didn't help Bill's business because he was giving it away. What we did in Houston against Vince, and it did work, is we did directly counter program him, but we did it with bringing in all the top, whether it was Tommy Rich or Flair or whoever else from outside. We brought everybody in. We brought the guys, we brought Kerry in, we brought Gino in, brought in top stars from everywhere, Moskers, everybody else that we could. But you paid for it. And Paul would look at it, and then he would say to the audience, it's like, hey, you have a choice. Vote with your dollars. Vote with your presence. If you feel that we have the better card with all of these top stars from all over the world, or you can go see the Hollywood stuff. That's how we would refer to it. And the audience voted with their dollars. And they would come to our show. We would kill them. And when it got to the point where Crockett was doing Crockett stuff, and Watts was solely in charge of booking Houston, that, Watts was used to in his other markets, major markets, Oak City, Tulsa, New Orleans, that Vince would come in, Watts would give it away. Paul was like adamant, we're not going to do a free show. No way. You give it away, then every time they come in, they're going to expect you to give it away. And then you're going to charge them for something that may not be as good, because you're giving them a great event for free. Why pay? Why pay again? I'll just wait till WWF comes back and they'll give me another free show. So it was decisions like that kind of hurt, Bill's territory and things of that nature. And, Black Saturday was just one of those, like, holy cow. And, it's funny, Bill went on TBS in the morning. Bill got that morning slot and gave it back to Crockett or whoever the hell he gave it to, but would brag about the ratings. Well, yeah, Bill, you're on at 7:30 in the morning. So you're the top show at 7:30 in the morning on cable. what is that, 4:30 on the West Coast? So there were spins. JR used to go through the Arbitron ratings and just pick out the highest ones. Now, forget about the fact that the show was from 1 to 2 a.m. By God, we're number one in the market. You're number one between 1 and 2 a.m. in the market. So, there was a lot of spin and people trying to convince themselves that oh, hey, we're doing better. And it just wasn't so. And Vince was just slowly chipping away at it. So the Black Saturday, I think, was kind of one of those first big major, holy shit, he's serious about that? You know what I mean? So yeah, it was crazy.